way. Born pretty and I'll take your breath away. Born pretty, better lay your money down, 'cause this guy pretty's gonna run this town.
Guys, Annie here with Boston, and I'm here with Annie Davis, the brainchild behind Trashy Annie. How are you doing?
Good. Thanks for having me. This is great.
No, thank you so much for coming.
Yes, ma'am.
So, you are such a dynamic artist. You have a narrative that you shared with the crowd when I first saw your show, and you started your music career kind of during COVID, correct?
Yeah. So I was a trumpet player as a kid and went through college playing music, and then got out of that for a super long time and did some other stuff with my life, and then got back into it right before the pandemic hit. And so just pretty much hunkered down during the pandemic time and kind of got back into the whole thing.
Yeah, so when you played trumpet, it's so interesting because we're both named Annie. I played trumpet in middle school.
Did you?
I did.
Nice.
I did. I didn't last, so. But it seems like music took you into college, correct?
Yeah. So I was, like I was saying, I grew up super poor, welfare, food stamps, the whole thing. And so I decided at a really early age I was going to have some path forward to go to college. And so I decided that teaching myself an instrument was the way that I was going to do it. My little fifth grade brain, I was like, this will pay my bills forever, you know? And so I ended up teaching myself trumpet, and ended up going to college on a scholarship and getting close to the end of school and realizing, oh shit, what do I do with a trumpet degree, right? Because I didn't really want to be a band teacher, and for trumpet, you know, it's kind of limited. Orchestras, maybe jazz band kind of thing, but
yeah, maybe some like ska, like.
Yeah, I was in a ska band back in the day.
I was gonna ask you, like,
and it's 5 minutes of glory that ska had back then.
Ska will always be a thing for me
I
personally.
love it. It just, yeah, it should have lasted a little longer. But anyway, so got out of college get close to the end of college and pivoted and decided to go down a different road because I was concerned about being able to pay the bills as a musician. So then got back into it a couple of years ago and dusted off my trumpet, ended up playing with some friends of mine out in Arizona that have a big band out that way. And I was like, God, I miss this so much. And that was sort of what threw me back into music. And I came back that Christmas and bought myself a drum kit. Actually, it was my first thing getting back into music because that's what I'd always wanted to play, really.
How long ago was this?
It would have been 2019, so right before the pandemic, like Christmas of 2019.
And you're already like a professional.
Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I can hit things and make noise.
I mean,
but yeah,
it seems like everything you touch turns to gold, like literally like audible gold. Like,
well, thank you for saying that. Yeah, so I bought a drum kit, started learning to play, kind of teach myself, and then decided that I had never done karaoke. I never sung in front of anyone. It was this terrifying idea to me. And so I decided that I was going to write a song and go to an open mic and sing this one song and just check this box just to kind of get over this fear. Not even get over it, just prove myself. Prove to myself that I could do something scary.
what song was it?
It was Runnin'. So it's a song that what ended up happening was I bought a guitar and I could only play one chord, so I wrote the whole song with the one chord.
On YouTube.
Yeah.
You put like one chord.
That's my one chord song. So that was my first song ever, and I went out to an open mic at New World Deli in Austin. It was my very first time doing anything, and I drank half a bottle of wine and got up there and sang my song. I couldn't stand up and sing at the same time. I had to sit down, and I remember my guitar kind of sliding down my lap because I didn't know about guitar straps at the time, like anything. So I'm singing this song, and I'm like, okay, this is scary, 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 scary. And then I got to the end, and I was like, oh, it was actually not that bad. I kind of enjoyed the whole process, and nobody, threw tomatoes at my head or anything. So I decided to go back and maybe try, figuring out how to put this song out in the world, because it wasn't even about the song being so amazing. It was about learning the whole process, going through what does it mean to mix a song? What does it mean to, produce a song? All that stuff.
What
And so
drove you to change gear? I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're
but,
good.
I'm so curious because you were a business owner,
Yeah.
and then you just flipped it like that, and you're already scaling. You're CMA of Texas Americana Artist of the Year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
by the way.
Thank you. That was a really, really, really cool thing. It's the whole thing has been kind of surreal these last couple of years. But to answer your question, music was always what drove me from the time I was a kid and picked up that first trumpet through college, right? I was in every band I could be in. I was in orchestras and jazz bands and concert bands and ska bands and all the things. And I missed it. It was who I was. As a kid, I used to write poetry all the time. Like, I would skip school, you know, to go sit in a corner and write poetry or play my trumpet. Like, it was
Oh my
total
God.
groove, right? So anyway, so when I got back into music, it was like everything came flooding back, stuff that I had missed that was a part of me for such a long time. So, but I think that one of the coolest things was having gone out into the business world and started a company and learned a lot about business, coming back into music with this business hat has helped me, you know, do a lot of stuff that I think a lot of musicians struggle with because they don't enjoy the business part.
I mean,
I do.
yeah, I feel like I'm talking to a demigod walking along.
So you've got a big poof, your hair went. There you go.
Well, I think it's because you blew me away with your life. I mean, for people to even master, like there's something about Mary though.
Yeah, I was kind of doing one of those. But you know how people walk around sometimes they'll have like a chive in their tooth and nobody tells them. I'm not that guy. So I'll tell you.
I was actually in a gas
I got
station earlier and I had my zipper undone in my shorts and late.
Did anyone tell you?
Yes,
Oh,
I was so grateful.
Right, that's how it should be. It's supposed to
Yes,
take care of
like
each other.
But,
So anyway.
But anyways,
Yeah.
yeah. So like just the way that you can navigate and master such things, and you have the drive to do that is it really stands out. Your voice is very, very beautiful. And it's seeing you live and like seeing how you painted a mustache on the Mona Lisa with different covers and you created, you know, the breakdowns and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was so catchy. I can
Thank
see
you.
why you won the awards you have. I hope this can assist in getting you more attention because you deserve it and then some.
Thank you so much. I really am excited. I think it's going to be a good year. I think that you know, I've got an album coming out
Yes.
shortly, my first full length album, and
What's
it's
the name of it?
well, it's so I'm still working on the name, but I think it's today. I think I settled on something. So I'll tell you the backstory first, though. So I wrote that first tune that I was just talking about, "Runnin'," the one chord song. So I did all the things, right? I learned how to produce, and I went down to Austin Music, Eastside Music School with a guy named Austin Sisler, and we sat in the studio, and he taught me all kinds of things about mixing and all the things. So we put the song together, and I was super proud of it. Put it out on Spotify, made a YouTube video for it. By now, it was full pandemic, so there's nothing. It was like mid 2020, so nobody's gonna help me make a video. People didn't even want to be in the same room together, right? Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna learn how to do this myself. So I got my little iPhone and I got my, you know, a bunch of clothes from Goodwill or whatever, ridiculous things. And I
love it.
Right. So then I just shot a bunch of footage and I learned how to edit it all together and and I'm really untechy. So the whole thing was just this, you know, learning curve. But anyway.
So wait, you're telling me that you did those videos yourself on your phone?
Oh yeah.
Are you serious? Because the quality of it, I was like, damn. I was like, I really thought that it was part of like Danny, you know, Hardy's like thing, like uses like mastering stuff. You did it on your phone?
Yeah.
Sis, you're a true rock star. You're a true grit.
Thank you. So it was fun. I like the creative stuff, right? So it was, even though the tech part was really hard for me, I was like, okay, I can make something that, you know, I'm enjoying the process anyway. So I got the video done for Runnin', and I put it out on YouTube, and I was all proud of it. I had released the song under my name, under Andy Davis, because I was like, I'm just kind of a solo person at this point. Plus, I never thought I was going to keep going with the whole thing. I thought it was just going to be this one and done, you know, check the box. So anyway, released it under Andy Davis, was really proud of it, was sitting back there, you know, sitting down for a couple minutes to look at the video, and I swear to God, it wasn't even 10 minutes, some lady's comment pops up and it says, "Aren't those clothes a little young for you?" Yes. And I was, you know, for like 10 minutes mortified. I was like, oh my God, she's probably right. I'm too old. What am I doing? This is so stupid.
What was she even doing looking at your video and doing that? Like,
people are ridiculous on social media. So the whole thing, I sat there, I was heartbroken, whatever, but then the way that I live life is, you know, fuck it, right? So I decided, fuck it, in this situation, and figured that if somebody was going to call me trashy because of the clothes I wear, perhaps Trashy Annie is the name of the band. And so that's how that came to be, and I've just embraced it ever since because it's really, really, genuine in the sense that I feel very strongly that people should be who they are, love who they love, wear what they want to wear. Just, we're all just doing the best we can in this world. And why in the world would you say mean things to people
Even your mission
just for the
statement,
clothes they wear?
your mission statement was very strong about that. Like, if you're feeling something and you want to, like, share it, people call you a lunatic, is what you said.
Yeah.
And then, but if you make it into a
Into
song,
a song.
then it's brilliant.
It's just beautiful art, right?
Exactly, and
We
I
all
love that, and I can relate to that. I do poetry, and
Awesome.
I've had breakdowns on my videos where I freestyled, just about family stuff. I actually had like I told you over text, a parallel situation. I moved back to take care of my father, and I left my career as a music journalist, but. There was some incidents of molestation when I was a kid.
Oh, man.
And I did a poem about it. Well, when my dad saw it, he tried to kill himself. This was like literally a month ago.
Oh.
And I'm back. It's like
horrible.
It's like planets just change.
Yeah.
Or like kind of reverse in time, so I can revisit it with a new set of eyes and take it as like a lot. Like I can either like muscle through it or just fall from grace.
Yeah.
And so I found your whole story it was so touching, like, to me personally, and I can't help but think that, like, so many people need to know that it is very beautiful to show what you think is ugly. But like, change the whole, like, you're changing the narrative of what ugly is into beautiful.
I love that because I
true,
love that you
you
said
really
that
are.
because that's what the whole thing about the Trashy Annie brand, that's what resonates with me, and I hope resonates with other people out there, is that who is anybody else to tell somebody that they shouldn't be the way they are? Why in the world is that an okay thing to do? And so, I think I love that you share that story, right? Because that's such a vulnerable thing that people just don't talk about.
Right, and people, I got so many phone calls like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" The thing was, like, I did what you do, but like you do it on a huge scale. I just shared it because people need to feel okay to be vulnerable like that.
Yep.
Like, sure, I'm not proud of it. Like, sure, I'm not, comfortable initially saying that I was molested by my father, but I'm still putting it out there so that people who do have that or something relevant to it, don't feel ashamed of it.
Everybody goes through hardships, and not to that extreme, right? Fortunately, not everybody goes through something as horrible as that. But we all have pain, and we all have, demons, and we all have the shit. I wrote that song Knock Knock because it's just about all the stuff that's just constantly running around your head, like knocking on your brain and keeping us all up at night. We all have that. But people don't want to talk about it, and social media has made it worse because everybody creates this glossy version of themselves with, filters and all the things that don't show any vulnerability. It's all about, everything is great. I'm on vacation. All the things are so wonderful in my life.
Everyone wants to look like they're doing perfectly fine.
We're not all perfectly fine.
And
We're all just struggling to get by.
We should be like flaunting our like imperfections.
It's
like,
okay,
show some stretch marks to your soul.
Yes.
Like, it's okay.
Exactly.
That makes you human.
Exactly.
And the other way that we talk on social media is by getting angry. By like, exploiting what we think is true news, or false news, etc.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about how much we're hurting.
And it's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay to be truthful with the world and people that are supposedly your friends or care about you or whatever. But I think that that songwriting for me was a way to get a lot of that out of my own head, and I didn't necessarily ever think about sharing it with people early on.
With it.
Yeah, it's just getting it.
Flows through naturally. Seeing you live literally gave me goosebumps, and like even as we're talking on certain points, I get goosebumps. Like you are incredible. So I didn't mean to interrupt you about that, but I did want to share just kind of we have so much similarities in a weird way, like Annie's. The whole thing.
Well, and that's I had a person reach out to me really early on. So I wrote. There's a song that you mentioned called "Lie to Me." That's not out yet, and the reason it's not out yet is because I want to make sure when I get that song into the studio that we really do it right, because
That is such a beautiful song, by the way, guys. Like,
it's
check it
from
out.
my dad.
Get some
who-
tissues.
Yeah, my dad died of cancer a year after I moved down here, and I hadn't lived around him since I was 5, and so it was a year of time that I wouldn't have gotten had I not done this big pack and go and just show up on his doorstep kind of move. But it was a heartbreaking thing to go through, and so again, songwriting was kind of a path forward through that pain, and so I wrote a song for him, and I think that. I'll lose my train of thought, but basically that's the point, is that getting this hard shit out of your head and out of your soul on a paper, other people connect with that. I got this message. So I posted Lie to Me on YouTube, just a demo. Here's the song I wrote for my dad. And this woman sent me a message, and she said, "Your music makes me feel less alone." And I will never forget that. Until the time I die, I'm never going to forget somebody saying that. Because some stranger, and it was, I had posted on YouTube, and she messaged me on Facebook.
Oh gosh.
You know what I mean? But she found it on YouTube, and then found me and followed my stuff on Facebook and sent me a message, and I just felt like, oh my God. And the number of kind messages and just people saying, oh my God, your stuff means something to me, that was the reason to keep going, because I was like, oh, it's not just for me, it's for human connection.
You
now.
literally are.
You know?
You're changing the game in so many ways. You know, you went on stage when I saw you, and you explained your story about that woman commenting on your YouTube, how you started during COVID, and you waited until like you already like mastered songs that, you know, people who've been practicing for 30 plus years like couldn't even like get close to. It was so divine, you know. And you waited toward the end, and you explained what made Trashy Annie. You know, your delivery, everything, like your full soul is like into this, and I love that. And I think that's what, like, a huge piece of what carries like into success you're gonna have. You know, like, I'm honored just to be interviewing you.
Thank
No
you.
clue.
I appreciate that so much, and that's exactly the reason to do it, because I want to connect with people in a way that feels very genuine in a world of very disingenuous connections. You know, that we've gone in a weird direction.
How many songs do you think
world,
like
right?
you can like? How many songs do you think you can count right off the bat, like that make you cry? Within the past 10 years, how about that?
Probably less than 5.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, every time I hear yours, like I'm already choking up. Like literally, like, you know how to capture emotion in a song. You're not writing for fame or publicity. In my opinion, you're writing because you're unleashing emotions, and people can pick up on that. And that's so raw. That's so rare. And that's so awesome.
Thank you for saying that. That just makes me tearful.
I'll speak on behalf of the girl, like, and say thank you for doing what you do. Like,
Thank
you really do
recognizing that, because it feels this industry is so challenging. You know,
I
it
wanted
is.
to ask you about that. How do you find what are your obstacles like in the industry? Like,
There's so many obstacles. I mean,
biggest
everything
that
from
you would like
getting in. Yeah, you know, getting into music initially. I think everybody starts kind of this way. I don't know, but I think a lot of people start kind of singer-songwritery, writing little stuff by themselves, and then they slowly start to want to do something bigger and have a band and have some people play with them, and not just be them contributing to everything that they do all the time, others contributing too. So I think finding a band has been a huge, huge obstacle, because you have to find people that like the same kind of music, have the same goals, have the same schedule, are proficient on their instrument. And when you're new, those people don't just come knocking down your door. You know, you're getting any and everyone you can get off of Craigslist who will give you the time of day. I actually started a jam session at where my company is, because I had a big open space. And so I started doing this jam session because I couldn't find anybody at the time who would let me play drums with them. I'm like, fuck it, I'll let anybody come who's not a drummer. As long as you let me play drums, anybody. We ended up having like 20 people would show up, on any given
Nice.
Sunday with all kinds of weird instruments.
Do
We
you
had
still
some.
do this by any chance?
No, because now I have a band, right? So I've kind of got through that. And
Okay.
not that I wouldn't like to do it again, but my time is taken up by the other stuff. But that was kind of the initial way to solve the problem was, hey, come one, come all, let's just see where the chemistry is. And then anyway, 87 iterations later, now I have a really cool band and a really cool group of people, and we have only recently sort of clicked together. And so now we're starting to, really woodshed the tunes and make sure that we're ready for all the touring and the new album to be out and everything else. And so,
Amir plays
that's
with
been
you,
big.
right?
yeah, Amir does. Yeah, he's from the Gingers. He's great, and he's only
Yeah,
recently.
he's awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you see him kind of doing full time with you guys? Just curious because I've seen him with friends and I know he
Yeah.
plays with multiple bands.
Yeah, if I could get him full time, I
Because
would
y'all's
take him.
chemistry is he's nailed it.
He's great. He's
Yes.
really great. I would love to have him. He's got so many projects going on. But my thought is always, the bigger you get, all of a sudden people's other things are like, oh, maybe I can make time for this thing, So I've gotten better players now because I've gone through all that, from the shallow end and worked my way into the deeper end and get people who are really talented musicians and bring a lot to the
Your
songs.
talent speaks for itself. That's a fact. And so circling back to your
Yeah.
new album,
Yes.
what is the name of it? I'm
Okay.
sorry for.
Oh, so the whole backstory of all of that was to come back around to say that I think that the album is going to be called Sticks and Stones because the album cover is going to be a big old glitter middle finger because on the back is I decided early on when people writing mean things, trolls and things that would just say mean stuff for no reason, I was like, there's something horrible about this that needs to be brought out. And so I started just screenshotting them all. So now I'm going to put all those comments on the back of the album.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Put it
it's
put it in quotes,
hey.
like a statesman or something.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
Mr. Mean Guy.
yeah,
There's so many ways you can take it. That's cool.
yeah. I mean,
Sticks
because
and
it,
stones may
yeah,
heal your bones.
right?
At this point, yeah.
right? So I think that's going to be the name of the album, and everything's done. And this is literally the last thing is to name it and do the album art. And so after this, I'm heading over to do rehearsal and then grab a couple pictures for the glittery middle finger, which I think is going to be the front of it. But that's
I'm
right.
gonna
Just,
need that on a
suck it,
shirt
world.
or a card.
You got it, man.
But,
Yeah. So yeah, the first single is the one that we talked about at the show, which is called Born Pretty, and so that one will be
beautiful
released.
song. So when's the debut for the video?
So it'll come out with the song. So I have a label. I got signed to a label at the end of this last year called Cleopatra, which is out of LA,
Congrats.
which is super awesome.
I did read about that.
Yeah,
and you like them so far?
They're amazing. They're out of LA, and they've worked with a lot of really, really big people. But what's so great about them is they really foster indie artists and allow us to still maintain our own thing and our own authentic self. It's not you hear horror stories about labels just crushing people's soul and saying you're going to do it like this, you're going to do it like this, and that's not these guys. They get on the phone with me anytime I have questions and help me figure stuff out. And my friend Danny B. Harvey is the one who introduced me to them, and so it's just a cool group of people in that crew. So
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's so fun seeing you play with Danny.
yeah, he's awesome.
So where can Austin find you next? Where can we find you on the reg?
Yeah.
Aside from following you, which your Instagram handle
Yes.
is
Trashy Annie Music on Instagram. Yeah, everything else it's Trashy Annie, all the streaming and everything else,
Yes.
but Trashy Annie Music for Instagram.
and YouTube.
Yeah,
Which you guys gotta check out.
yeah, and more
But
stuff
how
will
can
be
we
coming
find
on
your
YouTube.
schedule? How can
Yeah.
we chase you down and find your gigs?
So on my website, there's two places. My website has it all listed under the tour block, but the better thing to do is go on Bands in Town, which I don't do you follow that site
I
at
didn't
all?
know. I didn't even know about
It's free and it's great. What you can do is you can go on and follow whatever bands you like, and it'll ping you when they come within whatever radius you want to set. Yeah, and you'll get an email that says, "Hey, 2 Tons of
You
Steel
know
is going to be in
better.
your area," or whatever.
So wait, it's called Bands You Like?
Bands in Town.
Bands in Town.
Yeah.
Well,
It's a
how
good
about you tell the audience your next 5 shows?
Oh, I don't know my next 5 shows. Oh, actually, I do know my next 5 shows. So we're playing on. It's going to be mid-March, right? So we're leaving on tour.
Yeah.
So we're gonna play. Yeah. So we're gonna play in Tallahassee on the 9th, and then we're gonna play in Bluffton, South Carolina on the 10th, and then we're gonna play in Savannah, Georgia on the 11th, and then we're gonna play in Nashville, Tennessee on the 16th, and then we're gonna play a show in Austin on St. Patrick's Day out
St.
at
Patty's, March
Yeah.
17th.
Yep,
Right.
out at Rock House, off 2222, I think is where that is. I've heard it's a cool venue. Yeah, should be a lot of fun. We're gonna be driving straight back from Nashville and like rolling in hot, so we might smell terrible. We're gonna play really good.
Y'all got this.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Amir's gonna play that show with us.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, and then we're gonna play Giddy Ups on. They're doing a spring music festival on that Sunday, the 19th. So we'll play St. Patty's Day the 17th, and then we'll play Giddy Ups on the 19th. So those are our next two kind of Austin area shows.
Okay, great. So Giddy Ups.
Yep, which is south side. So Rock House is up kind of north, I think, out by more Lakeway area, and then down south is Giddy Ups.
Rock House on St. Patty's Day.
Yep.
And then
Giddy Ups on the 19th.
And then Giddy Ups on the 19th, 2 days later.
Yes.
So Austin,
Yes.
we got a real rock star, like true grit, true soul, like hard in the paint kind of lady right here. No, like you are so great. That's the point.
So Born Pretty.
And
That'll be the first single, and that one will be out. Like I said, I got to talk to my label now that everything's done except the album art. We decide on a release date, but it should be within the next 2 or 3 weeks. And that song that's the Trashy Annie song, right? Because it's all about
that's when we embrace the trashiness.
Yeah.
That's
just about
blessing of a dumb lady said.
you know, it's about loving yourself no matter what you look like, and being okay with yourself and what you wear, no matter what age you are or size or anything else. And
I gotta say,
I love it. I'm so excited for it to come out.
you've kind of like you're showing me that like beauty or ugly rather couldn't get any prettier. Like
Aw.
in of who you are, like how you look, your style, and like your motivation, what drives you.
Thank you.
And your art is truly genius. Like I'm so honored. I'm like this girl is totally gonna be like on the Rolling Stones magazine. Like give it like 4 years. In your time capsule, probably 1 year.
Thank you for saying that. I sure hope that's the case. That would be a really cool thing. Maybe just because you get to connect with, you have a bigger microphone, you get to connect with more people. And
I mean, your music is just so like it literally like I've been playing on repeat, like just like your videos.
that makes
too
me
beautiful.
so happy.
And I am astounded to know that you did the editing and the mixing yourself.
It'll get better and better. I'm learning. I'm getting a little
jobs
better.
of music and stuff. Well, I guess this will wrap it up for now. You're gonna have a gig tonight, aren't you?
We're doing rehearsal tonight, and then I'm gonna do a photo shoot for the middle finger, the glittery middle finger. So you had to get my nails done for it. So
you're gonna put glitter on it?
Yeah, I'm gonna put glitter on it.
So for the commenters who trolled on Miss Annie Davis, Trashy Annie, ready?
Yes.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
See you at a show.
Alright, so we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you again, Annie.
Yes,
for
thank
taking
you.
time.
This was great. Thank you so much.
And be sure to check out your new album
Yes,
on we don't know what date.
we don't know a date, but within the next month.
And follow Trashy Annie Music
Yes,
on
please.
Instagram.
And come to a show. Tell your friends, because that's one of the things that musicians struggle with so much coming out of post-COVID is getting people to live shows. Because people have
Absolutely.
just, they're happy at home watching Netflix now, and like maybe pre-COVID they would go
Plus,
out.
they just don't really have a way to, find out about bands.
It's
true.
true.
Unless they're on the streets and cover in,
Yeah.
at the old South by Days.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. It's a tough thing for musicians. So get out and support clubs that support original music. That's another thing too. Austin and so many of the cities are getting inundated with cover bands, and there's a place for cover bands. I'm not dogging on cover bands, but what I'm saying is let's keep original music going.
let's
especially
keep
in a
Austin
city like
the music,
Austin.
the music capital,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So go to a show.
All right, guys. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
again.